All right, good morning, everybody. Finally back in action today. Two trades today, but I had to cut my day early. Had to go take care of something, so we're gonna break it down. We're gonna see what happened today. Finally back. Let's go. Let's trade. All right, first trade of the day here was on Futu, making a nice pop here out of the opening gates. The only thing I did not notice was that Futu was on earnings today, so maybe a little rusty after having a whole week off last week, and didn't see that it was on earnings. But I am going to go ahead and start 100 shares short right here at 41.88, and I was going to look to start partialing this one out if we got down into the 40s somewhere. So it actually almost got there immediately, but was not able to make that move, and it starts popping up again. So I'm watching it as it pops up a little bit further here. I'm going to start looking for the first ad here on Futu if it wants to make another pop here up into the 40s. Really, I was watching. So here you see we get up into the 40s, we get up into the 50s. I'm watching it. It starts stalling right there. I click it. I get a fill at 42, unfortunately, not up in the 50s, which is where the ask was, but there's a little bit of a spread at the time. So got a fill there at 42, and now have 200 shares short at 42.15. Now I was watching and I was like, okay, this thing's either going to continue and we're going to go for that last ad, which is going to be double the size, up to 200 shares, or we're going to get a nice break back down through 42, and I will look to start piecing this one out and, kind of just see what it does from there. So it comes down right to about 42 and can't get under there, and then it starts moving back up again, and it starts getting real indecisive here for a minute. I'm watching it here. I'm going to not add unless we make a nice move up towards 43. So I'm watching it here. You can see it's struggling to get through the highs. It can't come down and get through 42. 42 is holding up, so I'm really not sure what it's going to do here at this point, but I'm sticking to the plan either way because it's only one extra candle after we got those initial entries. So plan is still the same here, no matter what it does. Just going to sit and wait and see what happens. But it is going to start coming back up here. It's going to start pushing back up towards those highs at 42.60. I'm looking for a move up towards 3 or 43, ideally a move through 43. So I get ready here with another 200 shares. I'm watching it as it moves up towards 43. Can it make the move up there and push up through? It gets right up to it into the 90s, and it doesn't quite break through. I'm like, should this do it? Because I don't want to miss out on a good opportunity. If it does make a nice pop through 43, don't want to miss out on 10, 15, 20 cents, something like that. So I decided to wait a minute and see what it does. Here's the pop through 43, but then it stalls. It doesn't go through any further, so I go ahead and get the ad in there at 43.01 for 200 more shares, and I now have 400 shares short at 42.58 here in Futu. So a couple minutes goes by and it's coming down. I'm like, all right, if we get down into the 40s here, this is not really my thing. I've noticed now that it's on earnings, so I decided to take 75% off. I take 300 shares off right there at 42.42 just to reduce this one down a little bit and see if that extra 100 shares can run and make me any money. So we're basically break even, slightly green on those 300 shares. Now I want to see if that remaining 100 shares can come down a little bit further back down towards 42 would be ideal, make a little bit more money. But a few minutes goes by and went back up to the highs. It kind of came back down a little bit, so we're back into the 40s. I'm like, I think I'm just going to take another half off right here. So I take another 50 shares off just to reduce it down even more because I don't really like what it's doing, but I want to give it that opportunity still if it wants to go. Another couple minutes goes by and it's looking even worse, kind of making an ascending triangle or flag there to the upside. So I decide to close the whole thing out there, and we're up $45. So not really a win here, but this is an example of how you can kind of work one when it's not going your way to not necessarily make it a winning trade, but still at least make a slight amount of money on it. Now, later in the morning, like I said, I had to go early today, and 10 o'clock was kind of that time that I had to be starting to look to go. But right at 10 o'clock, coin starts popping here. I'm like, oh gosh, why is it got to do it right at 10 o'clock, right when I got to be going? But I'm like, all right, whatever. If it makes a further push here, I can't ignore it. I'm going to see what it does. Can we pop up through the 7250s here. Looking for through 7250. There's 7250 on the ask. Can it get up through there? What's it going to do there? It's through. I go ahead and put it out and get a fill right there at 7250. And about 12 minutes later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this thing to come back down for so long. At this point, I just got to go. I'm already late. I got to go. So I take it off there at 4270, even though I think it's got a really good chance of coming back to the downside for a $20 loss. And that was going to be my day right there, because there I am logging out, and there I had to go. So glad to be back. Hopefully the rest of the week will be much better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit subscribe. I'll see you later.